Hello! Welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it is CGB, and we're going to look at the mono blue starter deck. No wild cards, no gems, no packs cracked. This is 100% a blue deck that you can make from the starter cards available. It's the last in our series where we've looked at each of the 5 colors, and this one is very different. We're trying to run a mono blue counter control list. It is slow, I will tell you that straight off. It is very underpowered. It's in a rough spot is definitely what it is. I tried the Artifacts Matters kind of stormy combo-y stuff. They do give you a lot of pieces for that deck, but it's nowhere near consistent. I tried a blue artifact aggro deck with like a tempo deck where I thought you could open with Bomat Courier, Scrap Heap Scrounger, and then counter the rest of the spells. And that was okay, but just felt too much like the other decks. And we haven't done anything for a control mage right out of the box. So this is what we're trying to do. I will say don't get your hopes too high. It's not a format definer in any sense of the word. And it's the one I'm most worried about staying competitive with. But we will give it the good old try and try to put on show. Our opponent missing land drops is certainly helpful. Just go ahead and only play 1 land, opponent. That will make my job much easier. Implement of Combustion can sack to draw a card. I'm sure that's part of why our opponent kept the hand. And now they're going for a Lava Runner. Not sure how to take that. I think I let that resolve. Is a bit concerning. We could play Ballista for 1 and still have Rebuke open. Is that what we want to do? Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good play. If our opponent tries to kill the Ballista, we'll likely be able to Rebuke that spell, untap. Then maybe we'd play Metallurgic Summonings, and we still have a Ballista. Our opponent has to figure out what to deal with. 3rd land, no problem. I'm wondering if they just forgot to play 1 at this point. Lava Runner implies some Wizards Matter stuff. Combustion implies a burn deck. Alright, that's certainly something I can counter. So Metallic Rebuke with Improvise will keep that from happening. Summonings is rough when you have all these islands, but I suppose we better to use it now or never. We're going to have to draw more spells. We do have a deck full of them. Hopefully that will work out. Here comes the implement. It cannot target our Ballista, only us. Okay, Sovereign's Bite. Our opponent indeed showing some burn, showing us the burn tendencies, and another Lava Runner, though. That's not... I thought our opponent would play a Shock or something like that, and that's what I was most worried about. So I'm pretty happy to see another Lava Runner. As they don't have haste, they're not 2/2s yet. And this will give us a chance to untap and no matter... and see what we do. Okay, disallow. Cool. We could put another counter on this Ballista. Or we can just hold up the counters. I like that. We'll just hold up the counters. Because whenever we cast these now, we also make a 3/3. So it's not like the Ballista is desperately needed on defense at this stage. The opponent attacks, I'm not going to block at this stage either. Our opponent could blow out such a block when we try to activate the Ballista with a Lightning Bolt or a Shock, anything like that. Alright, end step, let's go for it. See if they want to go for it now. No, they allowed that. Very interesting. What could be in your hand? Must be sorcery speed stuff. Alright. I'll just say go. Leave in the Dust makes a 4/4 on command. It's pretty sick. So, opponent, the music died. Don't know why. What do you guys say? We pump it? Louder? Yeah, I think if I just activate it, then what do I have open? I still have a disallow open. That can absorb a lot of burn. I find it weird that a shock was held for so long. Just weird, man. Weird. Wizard's Lightning. Okay, disallow that. Our opponent looks like they still have another burn spell to go. But we'll have a 3/3 at this point. Oh, now triggers are resolving. Stuff's happening. I feel like we ate a lot of burn. Sure. I'm confused. Alright. Our opponent has decided that they're just going to try to get enough threes to the face that won't be countered. Yeah, they got me tapped out, so it makes sense. Thinking about the next move. So we can play Ballista for 1 and have up Leave in the Dust and Metallic Rebuke after casting Leave in the Dust using the Improvise. Now, Metallic Rebuke at this stage isn't likely to counter anything, which is my big concern about it. But I want to start attacking because we need to not let our opponent draw enough 3-point burn spells. Gives me an oops. Sure. You'd be surprised what I can do. All right, let's go for this. What do you guys think? Should we be cheeky? Should we be cheeky? Maybe we'll give our opponent an oops. Since they thought my attacks were so bad. I'm also just going to play this. It's not going to counter anything, and I just want the 3/3. Because at this stage, I might be able to just kill my opponent. Right now, I can attack for 14 and 15, 16. All I have to do is move the Lava Runner out of the way. And I think I have enough Ballista power to do it. All right, let's send in the team. And let's finish them off. So the summonings turned the corner very quickly. The Ballistas made good use of our stack of mana, and we got the job done with our funky little counter Ballista summoning thing. Let's have a quick look at the build before we jump into the next game. Yeah, excuse me. So, like I said, it's a bit of a mess. Bear with me, everybody. This is not how I typically do it. So it's a control deck, it's mono blue, and it is all over the place. But it's starter. So we got Aether Meltdown, Baral, Chief of Compliance, some Disperses, some Negates, some Rebuffs. Really, it's hard to say a lot about this deck because it really is like all the good blue counter spells and some of the bad ones. 4 Disallows, a Divination, 2 Metallic Rebuke, a Temptation, an Arcane Encyclopedia, a Dynavolt Tower, and we also have Word of Invention at the bottom that I'm just going to mention now. This is what it gets. It can also get a Gearhulk if you have 9 mana, but that's not very likely. 2 Glimmer of Genius, an Insidious Will. Take that, Banefire. To Leave in the Freaking Dust. You saw that in all its majesty. 1 Baral's Expertise. 1 Confiscation Coup, a Metallurgic Summonings, which you also saw. Then we've got the actual good cards, 4 Torrential Gearhulk, 4 Walking Ballista, and a Whir of Invention. 24 Island. Hey, we've got 1 Tempest Shin, let's make it the blue Fireball. We gotta pay ourselves off somehow. Let's go get another one. Well, D-Zombie 91. Been a zombie since 1991 when he had his undead birthday. I think we can keep it. We've got a top deck of land, but hopefully Divination leads the way after that. We do have a rebuff on 2. This Whir and this Gearhulk are both pretty much 6 drops. But I think I've got to try it. Land off the top. Hallelujah. We'll be able to Divination on time. What more could you ask for in life? Maybe another Divination. I think that they gave blue a pretty bad mix. That's how I feel about the decks now that I see them. Ooh, Llanowar Elves is here. And Llanowar Elves is here. Oh man. If they play a green Gearhulk next turn, I am in for it. But I think I just have to pass here. And hope that the rebuff can hit something. Obviously, if they're able to pay 2 mana, that's a rough ask. But I'm hoping they just go for like a Glory Bringer. Brace yourself. This might sting a bit. Well, I better counter it, because if I don't counter that, the problem is the rebuff will never counter anything in the future either. Alright, the disallows a perfect draw so that we can have something available for whatever the next spell is our opponent attempts. Taxes? No? Nothing? Groovy. Well, I can sit here. The longer I get to develop my my mana, the better my deck gets. It can't be a good play to do that. Maybe Samut is on the agenda? Yeah, reaching for the cards. They must have something. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they're basically down another card. In the card advantage game, things are getting bad for them very quickly. Yeah, that's not relevant with a disallow. I mean, the only thing, of course, we have to watch out for now is like a Banefire. Here comes some dorks. I can take some pokes for a little while. Eventually, though, I want to get a Ballista on the table. What's happening? Sure. I mean, this is all fine. Okay, well, let's get a Ballista on the table. Still hold up that disallow. Next turn we'll have the Gearhulk online. But if we have to keep playing this staring game, we can pour mana into a Ballista. And now if our opponent removes it, we can kill Llanowar Elf too. Our opponents, really, they're down to 1 card. It's a very... They've had a pretty rough draw, let's put it that way. They must have some payoffs on the high end for Llanowar Elves and Grow from the Ashes, but we just haven't seen it. And another Lightning Strike? Yeah, it's fine. I guess our opponent is thinking Banefire, which is a legitimate strategy. We have to be careful not to go much lower. No attacks. Wow. Things aren't going to get better with that Ballista out there. I can promise that. Ballista's eventually going to eat those elves. All right, well, we could jam the Gear Hulk. I think what I want to do is go fetch. And we'll get a Dynavolt tower onto the battlefield. Ooh, summons. That could also be very good. But taking down the disallow is a little scary. I can wait. Everything's fine. Everything's just fine. Of course, Banefire is not fine. Right now it would be for 8. Alright, let's activate. Let's fire a Divination. I could have done this last turn, and it's quite possibly that it was the right play, as now when I think about it, I can't think of a good reason not to. No, let's keep watching. Let's keep watching paint dry over here. Getting warmer. Massive flood from the opponent's side. I'm sure that they are not loving it. Alright, let's put another counter up. Another Ballista. Alright, let's bring the attack. Okay. So I'm going to mark my end step. I'm going to go to my end step. Just in case the opponent wanted to do something on my end step. I'd rather know about it before I make this play. As we shoot out the elves. Bang, bang. So opponents touching lands, maybe they've drawn something awesome and playable. Another Grow from the Ashes. At this point I better counter it. We do have plenty of counters, and I do mean plenty of them. Between the Disallow, the Torrential Gear Hulk, and another Disallow. You just can't let our opponent go all the way up to mana for Banefire and Fight with Fire. It's close. They're already knocking on the door. So let's not give them any more. Alright, let's play the summons. So now, anytime I get to play a spell, we get a creature, we get energy. Keep tightening the walls around our opponent. Of course, and just keep them off perfect Banefire mana and perfect Fight with Fire mana. Vivian Reed. Yep, gotta counter you.
I'm not losing everything again.
You might. You just might, Vivian, and our opponent's gonna scoop him up. They've seen enough. Alright, I think we can go for one more. This deck consistently tempting fate. It's kind of stunning to me. What's going on? Weird. It's stunning to me how difficult the deck has it, is what I was going to say, with beating up mana-flooded opponents, or just these odd situations. But I don't mean to harp on the deck constantly. It's just clearly underpowered compared to the other colors in the starter deck position. But if you want to do something besides attack, if you want to play a mid-range to control game with a lot of decisions, and you don't want to craft any cards, I think this is among your better options. Let's sneak a Ballista out in the face of the island. Just having it on the battlefield might turn out to be handy. Might be able to sneak in plenty of damage while our opponent... By the way, Vivian Avatar, blue... double island so far. Let's go for a tower. Might get countered. Oh, it resolves. Okay, interesting. Well, if we draw land, we're in business. Even if we don't, we can sound this disallow. So our opponent has this turn to put us under pressure somehow. Otherwise, we're squarely on the front foot. Missing land drops. Well, that's something. Tezzeret discarded. The tragedy. Unfortunately, we don't have a land either, so this isn't a runaway game yet. Another discard. Please not another mythic. Say it isn't so. I'm a starter deck. I haven't crafted no mythics. Ooh, grow from the ashes. What a speculative hand our opponent must have kept. Well, we found our land. I hope they find it here. Oof. I'll go for the Glimmer, I suppose. Alright, Brawl and an island. And a concession. And I'm glad. I was actually contemplating scooping myself. I didn't want to end the video on such a lopsided, sad mana game. I wanted to get one more legit battle. So let's get back out there. Maybe we'll even get a rematch. Our opponent can try it with a better hand. Still, it appeared that they kept a hand with 2 blue sources and no playables, and that seems really optimistic. We have a mulligan system for a reason, because God knows we get a lot of bad hands, and I know that the mull to 5 or to 4 feels bad, but it's often better to go there than keep hands that just you don't get there. You know what I mean? I'd have to see the whole hand to really judge. I don't mean to sound judgmental, but when I see a game like that where it's like land, and then no plays, it feels like it could have been a mulligan. Alright, we'll try this. The disperses often feel like mulligans, but they're a little better than mulligans. They can buy you time, and we're going to be needing to find a land as quickly as possible. Again, this is a reoccurring theme in Magic, is it not? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained by our endless quest for lands? See if this resolves. I always want to slide it out there when I play a blue deck. See if we can get away with it. What's happening? Sure. No problemo. Happy to take it back. Maybe I can play it bigger next time. Big draw step, and we hit. Just deciding whether or not to say go. I still think I want to jam this. It might get countered here. That would be fine if that's what eats a counter spell. And it does. So be it. Alright, now it's a staring match. Black mana. Alright. Don't think this expertise is going to come in handy at all in this game. The sorcery speedness is not good. Let's see if we can resolve a divination, though. Found some land. We're going to want the negates. I don't think I'm going to need Leave in the Dust. Not with Disperse in a hand that's full. Although drawing that extra card is nice. Maybe I will just let a Disperse go. I don't see what I'd use 2 of them for. See if we can fight this through, fight this onto the battlefield. Resolves. Fatal Push, huh? What do you guys think? Do we fight? I mean, it is just a little ballista. But I kind of want to get my hand lower so that my Glimmer doesn't leave me to just discard anyway. I'm not sure what my opponent could be in the market for resolving that I can't bounce. A Planeswalker would be kind of the most punishing, and they did... No, this isn't the player who discarded Tezzeret. That was last game. Yeah, I'm going to negate. I'm going to make my opponent figure out what the heck to do about this Ballista. Just be as annoying as possible for them. I have a feeling they have another removal spell, but let's just make them use their mana. We're both constrained on mana. We both have a number of cards. The way that this is going to break down, hopefully, is one of us starts hitting land drops and finds bigger threats, while the other one is dealing with what the opponent does. I want to be the one presenting threats in this spot where we're both constrained and making the opponent make decisions about when and how to cast their spells. Gives me the best chance to, I think if we both just sat back and did nothing and I was choosing what to discard in the blind of how my opponent wins the game, I don't think that favors me when I could be doing something proactive. That's fine. I'm kind of amazed. We can dump counters on this later now. We have something to do with our mana in a staring match.
Staring match. In a world, two blue mages will stare each other to death.
It's a lot harder than it looks. Trying not to blink. I didn't sleep. I slept like 2 or 3 hours last night, so not blinking is really hard. Focusing on just staring them into the ground. Yeah, opt, okay. Ha! I made him move. Keeps it on top. How long does it take to play this land? Oh, a Gonti. Okay. Well, that gives me some idea of what's going on. That's not a creature I ever want to see resolve. And it's not something I can really bounce unless I absolutely am sure I'm going to counter it on the way back down. So, yuck. We can be almost certain he got a counter spell out of the deal. Ooh, Baral. Love it. So he cut me to our one of Brawl. So that's nice. Let's see if he has a solution for that. But this is where I'm really happy that we got, that we ran out the Ballista, we drew the Fatal Push. We'll see if our opponent's got another answer. Let the staring match continue. They choose a bad time, I would say, to take the music away. Oh, okay. Well, I love the idea of making my opponent play it again with a Disperse, but I think I'd love countering it with a Metallic Rebuke even better. It even leaves negate mana up. So let's take the action. Do we need another land? I think that the biggest risk from any point here is flooding out, actually. Although many battles are about lands, I don't know if this one is. So I'm going to drop it. We're a little bit ahead. Glimmer should get us a bit further ahead. You have to remember, though, our opponent still has the card from Gonti. So that's an annoying little thing. Gear Hulk. Okay. One attacker. Oh, these games. This blue deck, man, it wants to play tough, long games. You better bring your thinking head. Because there's so few answers to cards in play. You're just trying to do everything you can to line everything up correct. Oh, wow. I'm kind of amazed. and that is also totally fine. I wonder if our opponent has a way to use the energy, and that's why they would pick such a card, or maybe they just got really bad reveal. Maybe there's 3 lands on the bottom of our deck. Alright, let's go for this Glimmer. Swindle. Nay. Denied. 1 mana negates are nice. This time I'll drop off the Disperse. 2 islands. Gonna bottom both because I'm sure I can draw more. Given time. Like I said, I'm just playing to mitigate the flood. We're avoiding flood. Make sure we always have things to do with our mana. We'll get to Gear Hulk, I'm sure of it. Hostage Taker. What's that gonna target? The Baral. Okay. Well, let's go disallowing. Why do I have a button that says resolve? Oh, because of Insidious Will, perhaps? Are we to the point where I don't need this anymore? I don't think so. I'm going to drop Leave in the Dust. Meltdown's a good solution to Gonti. It's just about when I play it. I can take another punch or 2 from him. He's not super clocking me or anything. Actually, I don't have to. I can definitely go for Meltdown here. I have a Rebuke for anything my opponent would do. Yeah, we'll go for it here. Might as well not lose 2 life if we plan to make this play eventually anyway. Right now the Rebuke is basically a hard counter because our opponent only has 3 mana. And now everything's got... everybody's got an Aether Meltdown on them. Alright. Now I definitely want to hit this land drop, so I'm going to Glimmer right now. It's tempting to save like an Insidious Will for it. That's fine. I don't know if we'll actually need a rebuff, but if we get a counter war, we may. Does our opponent use counters? We've seen a Spell Swindle, so yeah. They don't just use counters, they use expensive counters. The day the music died. Arena music, why do you always go away? Leave us in these awkward silences. Bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the Navy, but the Navy was dry. I say on Twitch that you come for the magic and you stay for the singing. I try to limit it on YouTube. Maybe maybe I understand that my mass appeal isn't quite there. Scarab God returns. Let's make him pay 3 and then rebuff it the rest of the way. So if they have a negate, it's not going to work out. There we go. Now rebuff. Always just take the loot. You might need it. In this case, I think I'll keep the Insidious Will. So we've got 2 Scarab Gods down. Yep. 1 card. so we could just jam the Gearhulk now, but I don't like it. No reason not to hold it and see if there's something we can catch with the opponents, like disallow style. Although getting Glimmer is awesome too. Here's an opt. Keeps it on the top. Let's see if it's some kind of threat. We're actually very ahead right now. We can just pour mana into this if we want to. That's a very tiny little critter. I do not think I care about that. Although it could make a Wizard's Retort cheaper. I guess that doesn't matter. We'll just try the Gearhulk on the end step. If it gets countered, we have another one. The summonings is pretty darn good. Don't know how blue-black beats that if it resolves, and it looks like it certainly will. Could have attacked with the Gearhulk, I guess, but eh. Alright, our opponent's Gearhulk. I guess I am naked without an answer to this. But it looks like all there is to get is Optor and Summon. Okay, we're gonna fail push Brawl. That's what's up. Sure. We can just block that if we need to. Not a lot to think about on this attack step. Come on, opponent. Let's go. Okay, our 8th land, we can Gearhulk and still have Rebuff open. Can add a counter to our Ballista and still have it open. It makes for an interesting attack. Let's see. Yeah, it makes for a very interesting attack. So let's send in the Gearhulk. See how the opponent wants to handle it. They have kind of a free chump with Gonti, I guess. And maybe that's what we'll see. If they just try to bounce the Gearhulk off the Gearhulk, we have the Ballista. I think I should just try a Gearhulk right now, but the problem with that is Scarab God. But that's not a huge problem. And they'd have to also have the land waiting in hand to activate it this turn. So let's go ahead and Glimmer up. It's a 4/4 as well. And yeah, I'll take that. And it's getting real out there. You can see how just having a Ballista around on one, like Gearhulks that would normally bounce off each other, now I'm favored in that exchange because my Ballista can kill the Gearhulk. All right, Divination, sure. See if we can catch one of the cards he draws. If it's expensive enough. Siphoner is not that expensive, but it's another thing that Ballista laughs at. So our Ballista will likely kill it. So we'll finally cash that thing in. Alright, let's play our land and turn our creatures sideways. except for the 4/4. As long as the opponent has the Gear Hulk, that's not smart, and the Ballista again will chill out. So, last card. It's time for your last card to shine, opponent. If you got something crafty, now's the time. Okay. Okay. So we'll kill off the Spellweaver. And we'll bounce Gear Hulks. The opponent will take 5. They'll get to draw a card with their Siphoner, unless I decide to kill that Siphoner. But I think I'm happy just keeping counter magic up. In fact, I'm sure I am. It's all this is very much, it feels like a Stratego chess game or something like that, where it just feels like it's a lot of fighting for position a little bit at a time. An endurance match. I didn't expect the video to be this long. I just wanted one more game, but here you are. Mono blue doing mono blue things. Yeah, I wouldn't pick this up unless you're A, an experienced magician, and B, you really want to challenge yourself in your early experiences in Arena. Gear Hulk coming in hot? It's kind of weird. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. It lets the 4/4 turn around and attack you. Okay. So should we let down the shields to add another ballistic counter? I think so. If our opponent decides to play a Gear Hulk right now, which would kind of be the worst case scenario, I think we're still very ahead. Alright, my turn. Tempest Jin. What am I not playing around that I should be? Alright, let's send him in. What you got? Rope-a-dope. Time to think. The staring match intensifies.
In a world, 2 blue mages will see who can stare longer.
So, all this thought. Another Gear Hulk of Vraska's Contempt. A concession. Okay. Okie dokes. There you have it. Alright, well, that's going to do it for the blue starter deck, and I hope that you've enjoyed the mono-colored, no crafting required, no packs required, no money required, free-to-play grinding decks here on Channel CGB. If you did, remember to give a thumbs up, and feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like. Should I do a series of these in the dual colors, you know, in the guilds, like at Azorius and Rakdos and Izzet? Should I do the 2-color combination versions of these decks as well? I'm sure I could brew up something. I'm sure it could only get better from there. Please let me know what you want to see, and I will talk to you in the near future. Of course, stay subscribed to the channel, daily videos, all kinds of fun stuff. All right, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.